Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back, I guess. I didn't really think about what I was going to say before I started, which I don't because I just have no idea what I'm doing. But today I am going to be doing a drag tutorial. I'm not going to be doing full blown out drag, but it is going to be more of like a soft drag look inspired by Naomi Smalls, the queen herself, who inspired my very first drag look. So I thought that it would be fitting for my first drag tutorial to be something else inspired by her. So I'm going to be filming 2 videos today. I'm going to be filming this look and then I'm going to be filming a 2-part Q&A video. So I'm wearing my black wig cap to hold the hair out of my face because otherwise I find a lot of it just falls into my face and it makes it really hard for me to do my makeup, especially when I'm blending around the edges here or trying to do contour. All the little bits of hair just fall forwards, so I find it a lot easier to just wear this. You can obviously wear a headband, but because I have this kind of just laying around and it does get all of the hair, I just use this. My skin is just a bit dry right now because last night I forgot to put on the glow tonic and so now it's having a little bit of a tantrum. Time to start gluing. So you will need a glue stick, has to be purple or blue. Clear glue will not work as well. It's not because of the colour, it's because of the stickiness. Blue and purple glue sticks are a lot more tacky than your regular clear glue stick. So I use the I don't know if you can read it. It's literally, the red is literally UHU. So this is how I do it. I start with one layer, pushing up as hard as I can, making sure I get the whole eyebrow. I don't do the other eyebrow yet because we just want to focus on one at a time and make sure that it's really good. Now, I don't care if the glue in this one is messy, I'm just trying to make sure that the eyebrow is flat. And then rub any of the excess glue off the top since I pushed it up so far, and then straight away I go back in and push down again just to make sure that it gets nice and flat. Now, straight after that, while it's tacky, I'm going to use my dry beauty blender with some powder, and then I literally beat it in and press really hard. That way I feel like it pushes the glue down into the skin. You have to make sure you have a nice amount of powder on the blender, otherwise it's probably just going to end up having your blender stick. Now that I've done that side with the first layer, I count that as one layer, the pushing down and then pushing it down again, putting the powder on. That's one layer for me, but technically it is 2. Then I'm just going to start on the other side doing the same thing. Now, this is an interesting part because this is the part that's debatable. I used to do lots of layers. I used to go up to probably close to 10, try and get around 10, and then they would be covered. But recently I decided to try and see what would happen if I only did a few layers and then used a very, very full coverage concealer over the top rather than building it up, because I found that once I built it up there was just a weird part around the edge. It was obvious, you could see where I'd kind of put the glue. So now I only tend to do about 2 to 3 layers. This is the part where it probably won't work for you if you have really thick eyebrows, but my eyebrows are quite thick and I find that if you just push as hard as you comfortably can, and then the same with the spoolie, put the other layer on straight away and then beat it down, it gets so flat. Like, I don't know if you can see what that is like, but the hairs are standing straight up flat to my face. So now I'm just going to continue with my next few layers. And then I also found that when I was doing a lot of layers, I would get to maybe the 5th or 6th and I'd be pushing down, and then it would just make a hole, like it would smudge all the other previous layers up because it would be so wet and thick. So now I just do the same technique. You just have to really experiment with what works for you. This is probably the 3rd different technique I've had so far of covering my eyebrows. I love the way that I look with my eyebrows covered. It's my favourite. Maybe I should just shave them off. I mean, I love the way that I look with them covered, but I like having eyebrows when I don't wear makeup. Alright, I think today we're going to do 3 layers as a good amount. The concealer that I'm about to show you is my favourite thing that I've tried so far for covering a brow cover. I use the Gotcha Covered Concealer by NYX, and I love this. It works so well for doing this. You only need a small amount, and I like to use a brush first to make sure I get a nice thick coat, and then I blend it lightly with my beauty blender. Now I'm going to use the pointed end of my beauty blender. I'm going to start on the edges and blend out. This is so that when I set it and then put foundation over the top, there isn't a harsh line. It can kind of blend over the top well. And the reason that I set it instead of putting foundation straight over the top is that when you put the foundation straight over the top, it doesn't blend over it, it blends into it. They blend together, and then you end up having like an awkward patchy mess. Now when I'm setting this layer, I use the blender again with a good amount of powder on it. Just pat all around. The reason that I set like this for doing this is that it creates a thicker layer of powder rather than just blotting it on with the brush. Now it's time for foundation, so I'm going to use this. Hello, thank you. I just swipe it on. Now, don't always do this when I'm doing drag, but today I just really wanted to. Right, so I'm going to use the same brushes I always do for contouring, which are my Real Techniques extra small, and contour brush. Since I am doing drag, I think I want to do a kind of harsh contour today, so I'm starting out with my light shade and then going to my dark shade, which I learnt from Trixie Mattel. Gives a more 3D contour and it makes it look a bit more realistic, which I love. I'm going to cut that now, again using the Kat Von D concealer, I'm using shade L1. So now I've got to blend this bit carefully. I use the pointy end of my blender. Now that I've done that, I go in with my dry blender and carefully set just that area. Kind of gives more emphasis on the cut. Hayden put the washing machine on before I left, so there's going to be some really weird noises because the washing machine is literally on the wall next to me on the other side. I think it's spinning everything now. Alright, so I'm starting with my large fluffy brush on my light contour shade. Just going up to down. I'm going to blend here a bit because it didn't really blend here well before. Go to the other side. I always cut my nose contour out with powder because it makes my nose look smaller and it helps to achieve the skinniest possible nose. So I just get my dry beauty blender again and go across the side with a whole bunch of powder, which gives us a really skinny nose effect. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who has the skinniest nose of them all? One thing that I like to do for drag, because this is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, especially beginners, and I like to do this just because it makes it 50 times easier, is to draw a diagram of what I want the eye to look like. Because I'm doing a liner with a glitter cut crease, and then shadow around the edge, doing this shadow is really hard without the rest of the stuff. But obviously you don't want to just put eyeshadow over the top of glitter and eyeliner, that just does not work. So what I normally do is use a grey eyeshadow on an angled brush to kind of mark out the shape. The reason that I use grey is because it's dark enough to see, but it's light enough that if you make a mistake you can really easily cover it. So I start by drawing the wing, which I do want a large wing. The next thing to mark out is the cut crease. So I'm going to mark mine above and beyond where my actual crease goes. See how my actual crease is here? And now we've got a new crease all the way up there. One, it makes your eyes look huge. Two, it gives you a lot more space to play with. Three, that's drag, baby. So this entire spot here is where I'm going to be filling with glitter later. This makes it so much easier to place the eyeshadow because now I just do the eyeshadow on the edge of the line and blend it out. Instead of putting eyeshadow everywhere, I know exactly where I need to deepen, exactly where I need to blend from. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. We're going to be using Lure, which is the musk shade on the end here, and Parallel, which is the deep brown shade. I think I want to start with this domed, it's not quite domed because it's just been washed, fluffy brush, and then use this kind of flat shade brush. So I'm going to use the flat brush on the dark brown and the large brush on the light musky shade, since I want to blend that all around. I'm going to go into the dark brown. I'm going to start just on the edge of where I've put my crease. And then blend out. It's hard to get a blend that looks completely smooth over a brow cover. Like if you took the brow cover away, this would look pretty good, but because of the angles, the fact that it's on top of a brow cover, it will tend to look a little bit uneven. So now I'm going to do the under eye, starting with my light shade on my larger fluffy brush. Alright, I'm going to do the other side and then I'll be back. I'm going to use a tiny flat brush and just carefully do black right on the edge of my lash line. Now I've got to do the wing. I have not used this eyeliner before, so this is going to be interesting. It's the matte liquid liner from NYX. So let's give that a shot. That's the one thing that I really don't like about NYX liners, is they have like really bad brushes. Like the brush is just too long. It needs to be a little bit shorter so that you have more control over the product. I love this liner itself, it's so black. It dries down really well, etc. But yeah, I just wish it had a shorter brush so that you had more control. The next thing on the agenda is, what I'll do is I'll curl my lashes and put some mascara on. Alright, let's start doing some glittery stuff. Now I'm using this glitter from NYX, which I'm really excited about because I've always wanted this glitter, and my friend Naomi gifted it to me. So I'm really excited to try this out because it looks so beautiful. For my glitter, which I'm almost out of, which is so depressing, I always use Kryolan Multi-Gel. It works so well for glitter. If you want to do a glitter lip, you need this. Applying the glitter with this small flat brush and applying the glitter primer with this larger one. So I just swipe this on. I like to do a little bit at a time and I don't do it too thick because otherwise the glitter does not stick well at all. Now I'm going to add another layer on this side. Got to go back over the black. Alright, NYX Brooklyn Dawn, I think it is. Yep. The perfect colour for freckles. Dab my brush onto here, to the wand, and then do little dots on the back of my hand to get some of the product off. Now I'm just going to go over them with powder. Alright, I'm going to try lining my lips, and I don't have anything really good to line them with, so I'm just going to use brown pomade. Now I've got a highlight, and I'm going to be testing out the new NYX Cosmetics I Love You So Mochi highlighters. I think I'm going to use this shade on the end here because it kind of matches the glitter that I'm wearing on my eyes. So I'm going to be using this fluffy BH Cosmetics brush. On the middle, bit of Lolita. I wanted to do some heart-shaped crystals, but I'm not sure what colour. I'm almost feeling the red, but I think silver will be a better choice. Alright, the final step is lashes. So the next step, and especially with drag, is accessorizing. Now I always put on any chokers that I want to wear before my wig because it makes it so much easier. Alright, now I'm just going to pin this back because it falls so far into the face and it is hell to wear with big eyelashes. Hopefully this video is informative or helpful in some way, shape or form. I don't really know. It's really hard for me to talk while I'm doing my makeup and kind of explain what I'm doing, but I'm hoping that this will help you guys in some way. Sorry I didn't do any brows, but I did not want brows for this look. I will add drag brows as part of my different types of eyebrows video that I will do in the future.